gossip celebrity chit chat video with you guys. My tea's now too cold. Gonna have to warm it up. But first things first, I want to talk about the. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. You know what? Let's go ahead and chew some gum. Since we're not gonna do, we're not gonna be able to drink the tea. Okay. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Really like the video, guys. Thank you. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Really, I didn't really keep up with the season as much as I wanted to. It just wasn't that interesting to me. But I do like the new housewife there. She's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna get down to why I'm doing this video. First of all, Melissa, 10 out of 10 for just standing your ground during the reunion. Secondly, you guys, I kinda don't like Teresa in this situation. Listen, when Teresa had her first husband and the Joe, right? When she got into trouble for all of that financial mess, she just tried to put it on Joe, like she doesn't know what's going on. I feel like Teresa has been wanting to be a housewife. She wants that life, right? She wants the I'm a housewife, I don't work, I take care of my family, I take care of my kids, that's all I do. And she's willing to turn a blind eye to how the money's being made and blah blah blah, which I don't really think she does. Blind eye to how things are being done. She knows. Secondly, which is why she was found liable in some of the situations, right? Secondly, I'm proud of her for how she was doing it as a single parent. Honestly, that victory tour was so amazing, right? But I don't like this I'ma stick beside him attitude she has about her men. But I feel like she's being a traditional woman by giving that attitude. But it's not true, right? She didn't stick by Joe. She said, oh, the love was just gone. Girl, bye. You were mad at him. You felt like it was his fault. And you it's like even the fact that Joe was not a citizen was just weird. He's married to an American. He could have become an American at any point. But it's almost like they had that macho damsel dynamic so bad that he couldn't even just, I don't know. I just feel like Teresa is that woman who, if the men in her life were in trouble, they wouldn't be able to tell her. You know what I mean? Like, how do you tell this girl who doesn't want to know what's really going on, you know? And I think Louis is in a bit of trouble right now. I think it's it was very naive or stupid of Teresa to think that after she saw It's Raining, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm sorry about that. hypocritical. Teresa doesn't like her brother's wife. Full stop. I think because when Joe was in jail, when Joe's in prison, it seemed like their relationship was okay. I feel like Teresa likes her brother, right? She likes her brother, but she doesn't like her sister-in-law. So when she needed them, she used them and then dumped them. And I think the reverse is true. I think that Melissa wanted to be on Real Housewives of New Jersey, and in her own right? And she tried to get on in her own right, and she got on because she was Teresa's sister. Just Teresa's sister-in-law. But I think she's always wanted to be her own woman, separate from the Teresa brand, but to keep the peace. There's always been that family thing, because I feel like if Joe and Melissa had brought the actual real life dynamics that Teresa and Joe have outside of the show into the show, like Teresa would have been mad. My God, what is up with the background? Besides the rain, something else is going off. Anyway, all I'm saying is, okay, I'm saying this to say, when you have a strained relationship with a family member and you bring them on a TV and they come on a TV show on your back, they have to always support you and have your back, because if they don't, like, they owe you, right? But I don't think in real life these guys are as close. They are a friend in need, a friend indeed type of friendship, type of relationship. That much. And I feel like Melissa also gets whenever Joe does something that Teresa doesn't like, I feel like Melissa bears the brunt. You know what I mean? And so I think that this whole thing is fake. Everybody knew from jump that Joe and Melissa were never gonna go to the wedding. I think that Joe has been caught in between the what's good for the goose is not good for the gander thing a long time ago. I feel like Joe and Teresa are both very sentimental people who do things out of tradition and blah blah blah, and they have imposed that on the wife, on Melissa, and when she asks people to return the favor, they always shut it down. And also I feel like as a family member, if you say I'm over it, it's okay. You should be over it and it should be okay. You can't keep holding it over people. So there was another clip that kind of went viral where Bravo said, I was just doing what I don't know why Teresa's trying to make it seem like Joe is unreliable. Yet Joe is unreliable and not very good with business and stuff. If he's supposed to be your little brother who rides on your coattails all this while, why did you even sit down and have the conversation? 1, 2, why did Louis agree? 3, why did you still keep the idea? Because you haven't shut the idea down. It means that Joe's idea was a good idea. It was a good idea. It was worth investing in. And maybe that's what you like. You like when your little brother comes to you and tells you these good ideas and you execute them without him. Because you've always had the money, more cash than he has. So you are always able to take ideas and run with them. I don't know. It's just there's a pattern that we're not seeing or that we don't know about here that I think Melissa might eventually spill on this weird dynamic. But we all know the truth about Teresa. Teresa's like, listen, everybody says Teresa is a sweet girl. And I think that's because Teresa is a professional person. But I think in her personal life, Teresa is not. The mask falls off. But we have to deal with the reality. Except for her man. She's a her man girl. Can't blame it. All in all, I'm wondering where the show's gonna go. If Teresa picked Louis because he's got the right amount of baggage and drama to keep the show going. Because he's not a clean slate at all. Messy stuff. Now about his ex and stuff, I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. He's suspicious, he's weird because he's isolating her from her family. But sometimes you just gotta separate yourselves from family, and I do think that I just feel like Joe and Teresa are gonna make up. And Melissa's been around long enough that Melissa's gonna stay. The question is that can Louis stay? Only time will tell, right? So that was it. The funny moment in the reunion where the other lady's talking about how she didn't use Ozempic for weight loss, blah blah blah. Hilarious. While Dolores is just sitting there in the corner looking funny. Dolores didn't need to lose any more weight. She's always a pretty woman. Whatever. It was cool. It was a good reunion. Too much back and forth, too much nasty without really getting to the crux of what's really going on. What's the big deal here? And I also think the arguments about everybody trying to sanitize themselves in front of the public. Listen, you don't have to sanitize yourselves in front of us. We know we don't get along with all our siblings. Okay, I get along with mine, but most people don't get along with all their siblings. So sometimes siblings fight, and you take your siblings for granted. So you fight with them over years, and it's not a good move, but it happens. Not a big deal. Not the end of the world. Not worth all this hullabaloo. And this whole drawing the line in the sand. Melissa, Joe and Teresa especially. Drop it, you guys. There's no line in the sand. You have to work together. Drop it. Move on. And also don't have your kids involved. Oh my god. I mean, I get it. Kids get to be on the show. But this whole thing of making Gia speak up a lot like Teresa, this is not a good idea. She's a baby, like, compared to all those other women. And if she keeps talking, she's gonna get what's coming. I wouldn't. Then you'll have an excuse to flip tables. Anyway, so oh, and then also Joe Giudice saying kids remember who was truly there for them and who wasn't. Never mind. Absolutely never mind. Louis is weird also. Like, I don't think Louis, I'm not saying weird as in creepy, scary, uncomfortable. I'm not talking about that weird. I'm just thinking weird in a funny way. Like, he says things that are just like, what? So, like, Uncle Louis, weird. Like, wearing wearing the pajamas, trying to apologize for talking about wearing the pajamas to make it's just so tough to understand. And I think that Louis was making the mistake of trying to kumbaya everything. He shouldn't have meddled. And this is where I give Melissa kudos. I feel like Melissa, I don't know, you guys, you can correct me. I feel like Melissa has always been able to get in between Teresa and Joe's issues without getting too much in between Teresa and Joe's issues. I think that she's always been able to be honest about her issues with Teresa without getting in between Joe and Teresa's issues. Louis has to be very careful, right? Just because Teresa and Joe are fighting doesn't mean you and Teresa have to fight, because now that you married her, you're all family, so you don't have to go to bat for your spouse in the same way, especially against their sibling. Like, I would never go to bat for my husband when he's arguing with his sibling like that. It's too, they are family, you know what I mean? They are of one blood. At any point they're gonna be cool and you're gonna look the fool. And I think that's where I give Melissa credit for. She has managed to separate her issues with Teresa, although she kind of lost it during the reunion this time sometimes, but she is he's got a short memory. You know, he forgets why he's mad. He gets mad, but he's kind of forgetful. He forgets why he's mad. He's easygoing. Melissa is snooty. She's above it all. She doesn't want to be involved in the drama. She's like, I'm too good for this. This is a mess. That's Melissa's attitude. So I feel like both of them can get over it. But I feel like Teresa's gonna need that armor of defense for PR reasons. So she's always gonna keep throwing them under the bus. We'll see how it goes. Except if Bravo tells Teresa to cut it. Rumor has it that there were some scenes where Louis was just proved that he did do the investigation on. He did hire the PI on his on the team. But they cut out of the reunion to protect Louis and Teresa. So okay, there's that. Anyway, next story. The other story I want to discuss. Did you guys see Aoki Simmons go off on her dad, Russell Simmons? So Aoki is the daughter of Russell Simmons and Ming Lee. Aoki and Ming. They are the daughters of Kimora Lee Simmons and Russell Simmons. Okay, although I call him Kimora Lee. Okay, you guys, Russell Simmons has been problematic for a long time. Back in the day, Amanda Seales said that Russell Simmons met and said, have we effed before? I would remember, like, he made a pass at her while she was trying to have a meeting with him. He's a music exec, mogul, what. And he's always had a interesting reputation. In fact, he was part of the Me Too movement, but then he ran away in a negative way. Then he ran away, he moved to Bali. He's been living there to try and run away from the charges that were coming up against him about him sexually abusing women that he was supposed to be working with. Okay, now Aoki mentions that, you know what, my dad is so mean to me. I've been having anxiety because of him. He's horrible. Whenever he's having issues with mom, he berates me. He wants cancelled all our credit cards or locked them out of their credit cards whilst they were abroad. He's a yo-yo, okay? This was because, I don't know if it was Aoki or Ming who said Happy Father's Day to the mom instead of the dad, and he took offense and there was a back and forth and everything. So Aoki was crying and talking stories. If you know Aoki is just like a brilliant kind of young woman. Does a little bit of modeling, just graduated from Harvard. This girl is like well-spoken, well-educated, very humble, definitely understands a little bit of her privilege, was raised right, and I would give that credit to Kimora Lee. She did a good job raising her kids. And then also the other sister is very quiet, very chill. So she released a thread where the dad is just going in on the mom, and she was like, these are like what the conversations are like. And she also released a video with no audio where Russell seems like he is going off. Russell and Kimora are having some issues about money because they were joint owners in a couple of things, and Kimora dated some guy who was trying to swindle some financial advisor guy or whatever from Goldman Sachs, who was trying to swindle, I think, out of money. So there was just like this little weird thing that happened with money and shares and stuff like that. So Russell tried to sue Kimora. He's still trying to sue Kimora for whatever. It's just a hot mess, okay? But Kimora and Russell have been having issues, and they think they've had issues even back before that. But whenever they have issues, Russell takes it out on the girls. Guys, as someone who comes from parents that are separated, I can tell you that that's the worst experience. And when I she also came back and said she thinks that he's not okay mentally. I think that too. I think there's a lot of lashing out. I think there's a lot of losing control. I think there's a lot of there's a mental health breakdown going on. But yeah, all in all, it's a very interesting story. One other thing that came out of this is that Russell Simmons was 35 when he started dating Kim Harley, and she was like 15, going on to 16 or something like that. So that already changes the whole dynamic, right? Can you imagine? Okay, so just in this relationship, things we know, this man started dating this woman when she was very young, and he was a grown man. 2, he's been accused of sexually assaulting people, which means he was not a faithful partner, right? 3, his kids are saying that he's not been a very good father, especially. And I think what I'm seeing and what I'm understanding is that Russell Simmons is verbally, emotionally, and financially abusive to his kids. That's a tough one, because I feel like a lot of us don't know what it's like to be financially, like a lot of us don't realize what it's like to be financially abused, but it happens. Seen it happen. And I think that's what he was doing for so long, was holding money over their heads